Hey guys, it's Fantasy King, back at it again with another AFL fantasy video. Unfortunately, this is the last round of the home and away season, so this is the last week where I'm going to give you advice on my team. I appreciate you guys staying tuned to my videos and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll just get straight to my team. Round 22 was the most high scoring round of the year, quite easily. My +3 is Jack McRae, 149 against Paul. I did not expect that. That was absolutely unbelievable. He's the best forward in competition in fantasy. My -3 belongs, you know what, we're going to have a two-way tie. Andrew Gaff and Max Gawn. They're both my trades out for this week. They were unbelievably bad. Gaff had a 51-point first quarter and followed it up with 12 points in the second half. So yeah, them two were quite terrible. To think that I called them premiums a few weeks ago was quite disgusting. I mean, I didn't say it in any of my fantasy videos, but I thought they were premiums, and just to think the 63 and 65 is just unacceptable and almost costed me in one of my matchups. My defense was quite solid. Adams, Doherty and Laird all scoring very well. Nunes, Witherden and Schoenberg scoring okay. Ryan on my bench scoring okay as well. My midfield, Dangerfield, Tom Mitchell, Dustin Martin, just getting it done week by week. Zach Merritt was quite disappointing. I actually copped a tag by Took Miller. Probably won't captain him again this year, that's for sure. Even against an easy matchup like Freo. Adam Treloar, he's getting it done week by week. Not in a most convincing fashion. He's not scoring 150s, but he's getting the job done every week, which is pretty good. Dane Beams, 138. That's another big score from him. Top 8 midfielder easily. I'll definitely put him in my team next year. He might have he has a huge, pretty big injury proneness. He's pretty big to getting injured, but he's definitely going to be a top 8 midfielder next year. So I'll definitely take that risk for 2018. Andrew Gaff, I've already explained. I don't want to explain it really anymore. He was just disgusting. Jack Steele probably comes pretty close to my +3 as well, because he was really good against North Melbourne. He comes in a pretty good form as well, and yeah, he was the reason why I won one of my matchups, so I was happy with that. Jake Lloyd on my bench, he done pretty okay. I actually benched Lloyd because he did have a very hard matchup against Adelaide, and their forward line is unbelievable. My rucks are disappointing. Steph Martin and Gawn, don't really want to explain much on that. They were up against each other, oddly enough. When they're usually up against each other, they usually score pretty poorly, and that's probably why they didn't score that well. Anyways, I moved to my forward line. It was pretty good. Side bottom, Robbie Gray and Heaney, probably slightly below par, but they still did okay. Forgivable scores. Ryder is good. Menegola was amazing, and McRae was unbelievable. My cover for my forwards was Young and Dacos. Dacos had a very good first game. Young scores is irrelevant with my forward 6. None of them have an injury cloud, so it's all good. So my overall score on the ground was quite impressive, 2,447, which is the highest score I've had this year. On most weeks, that would probably be the top score of the round, but it was an unbelievably high scoring week. I think the top score for the round was 2,700, which is unbelievable. Anyways, my overall ranking, only went down a few places from 5,576 to 5,539, so it wasn't too good of a week for me despite the very high score, but I'm still trying to be within that top 1,000, even though there's only 1 week left. I have to do really solid to get in that top 5,000. It hasn't been the best of years for me, but I'll definitely improve next year, and I'll try and get it next year. There's always next year. So here's my trades ahead for round 23. Based on matchup as well, hence the reason why I traded in these players. Max Gawn and Andrew Gaff come out, and they're up against tough opposition as well, especially Max Gawn against Grundy, Gaff against Adelaide's midfield. The players I traded in, which is Cruiser, who's up against Sydney's ruck, he will go big, and Goddard against Fremantle, who are in awful form. I reckon he'll also go big, and he's a huge unique as well. I think he's owned by less than 1% of the competition, so it's quite unbelievable, and he's unbelievably consistent as well, and I don't know why a lot of people don't consider him into their teams. So here's my team ahead for round 23. Adams, Doherty, and Laird should all do well like they usually do. Um, Jake Lloyd, despite the poor form, I reckon he could go 90 plus this week against Carlton, who aren't that good in the forward line. They never really score above 80 in the forward. Alex Witherden could ton as well. North Melbourne concede 18 tons in the past 3 weeks, which is unbelievable. So, he could be in that list of players that will score 100 plus this week against North. Matt Schoenberg, no surprise at D6. He scored 90 plus in his past 4 weeks. He'll probably do it again against Melbourne. Luke Ryan on my bench doesn't really come as a surprise. He's not in great form. So, that's why he's on my bench. Midfield, Dangerfield gets the job done every week. He's up against a tough opponent, but he will go at least 110. Tom Mitchell, captain, no surprises there. Pretty boring pick, but boring picks usually do well. Dustin Martin never tonned against St Kilda, which is a big worry, but I'm actually confident he will ton this week because, considering he's Brownlow favourite, even though if he has a poor performance this week, he will still win the Brownlow, in my opinion. But I just think last week he'll lock it away, and the last week is important for them and their top 4 hopes as well. So that's why I reckon he'll ton this week, even though he'll get attention, a lot of attention. Dane Beams, vice captain for the week, he will do good once again. He is just so consistent in the past 5 weeks. 135 plus in 4 of his last 5 games. Unbelievable. Zach Merritt hasn't tonned in his past 4 games, but he surely will against Fremantle. Adam Treloar, he's so consistent. He'll go at least 100. Goddard, I reckon, will go 100 or up because, Fremantle have been really poor. They've conceded 13 tons in the past 2 weeks, which is unbelievable. Jack Steele is listed as emergency, but surely he will play. He's listed in the extended bench, but he will play. Just in case he doesn't play, though, I reckon he'll score 90 plus. But just in case he doesn't play, I have Nunes on my bench. He will cover him. People might be wondering that he should be covering Adams, but I'm really confident Adams will play because it's the last round of the season. But Nunes is on my bench because despite him being consistent, he's only gone 100 plus once since like round 10 or something like that. So his form, his ceiling isn't that good, and that's why he's on my bench. I've got to take every chance I can with ceilings and that, so that's why he's on my bench. My Rocks Cruiser will surely go above 110 against Sydney. Stephen Martin, he should bounce back with a 90 at least against North. But Goldstein is a pretty recognised ruckman, so I'm not totally certain of him going 100 plus this week. McRae in the forward line. Should do good again this week. He's just so reliable. He's Mr. Reliable. Sidebomb should bounce back with 100 plus. He's really consistent. Sam Managola, without Dangerfield or Selwood in a lineup, he goes massive. Despite the tough matchup, he should do good again with 100 plus. Patrick Ryder will dominate this week in a ruck. He's up against Brooksby, I think. He'll go at least 110. Robbie Gray, he'll go good in the forward line against Gold Coast, who have a very ordinary defence. He'll go at least 90, and Heaney against Carlton will go at least 90 as well. Dacos and Young on my bench is practically irrelevant with their performance, but they'll go probably around 50 to 55. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like if you did, and since I won't see you again in terms of advice, I will make another video, and it'll just be an overall year summary of my team. Anyway, guys, I hope you have the best of luck, and I will see you guys later.